Tumbling start against Santa Clara, righted themselves against BYU, but a much sterner challenge with Tennessee. We'll hear from Roy Williams when we come back. Working our way to the second semifinal down in the EA Sports Maui Invitational. Rashad McCants and the Tar Heels getting set to take on Tennessee and Carolina alum Buzz Peterson. That's coming up in just a little while. And speaking of Carolina guys, Roy Williams in his second season as head coach of the Tar Heels, and last year a bit of an exercise in frustration for Roy as he made the transition from head coach in Kansas to the head coach in North Carolina as the players tried to adapt to the Roy Williams way of playing basketball. Much smoother transition, one would hope, in his second season. Roy Williams spoke with our Dan Patrick.
You got all 5 starters back for the second consecutive year. What are
Scooter McFadden and Tennessee? He had 21 against the Cardinal in the quarterfinals. Carolina and Tennessee coming up. To grow. C.J. Watson had a big game against Stanford to get Tennessee into the Maui semis against Carolina. It's coming up.
Welcome back to Maui as the sun sets. We're getting ready for the second semifinal game of the day at the EA Sports Maui Invitational. ESPN Feast Week continues as number 12 North Carolina meets the Tennessee Volunteers in an EA Sports Maui Invitational semifinal. The winner will take on Iowa tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Time for the Maui Invitational Championship. Iowa won a thriller against Texas here, a game that ended about a half an hour ago. Welcome back to the Line, everybody. Sean McDonough along with Jay Billis and Bill Raftery. Delighted to have you with us. And Jay, North Carolina, very impressive last night in routing BYU after their season opening loss to Santa Clara.
Well, we've all been impressed with their talent. What really impressed me against BYU was the strength of their defense, and especially Raymond Felton. His pressure on the ball really started everything, got their break going, and got their big guys, especially Sean May, running the floor. If their defense is that intense, they should do well against a good Tennessee team.
And that's the problem for Tennessee. I think valuing the basketball, don't turn it over. C.J. Watson's got to play very well. Scooter McFadden's got to do a nice job. Get them into the offense. That's the key. Value the basketball, Sean McDonough, like you value your wardrobe.
Not this one, though. Tennessee a winner here over Stanford last night, 69-57. They have Scooter McFadden with the freshman Chris Lofton, C.J. Watson, Brandon Crump, and Andre Patterson. And for North Carolina, the familiar 5 of Raymond Felton with Jackie Manuel, Jawad Williams, Rashad McCants, their leading scorer, and Sean May, who had a terrific game in the victory over BYU last night, 18 points and 8 rebounds for the Tar Heels. And of course, a reunion of old friends. Buzz Peterson, the coach at Tennessee, was a player at North Carolina in the early 80s, part of their national championship team in 1982 when Roy Williams, the Carolina coach, was an assistant coach for the Tar Heels under Dean Smith. Buzz has coached twice against his alma mater, 0-2. Both games were while Buzz was the head coach at Appalachian State.
That 1982 team, one of the great teams of all time and one of the great coaching staffs of all time as well.
And Jawad Williams controlled the tip for Carolina.
And Tennessee goes minute. Sean McDonough and Jay Billis.
Manuel guarded by the freshman Lofton. Now May, the junior, missed a short one, and the rebound down to Andre Patterson, the transfer from UCLA. Watson, the point guard. The air ball fielded by Brandon Crump.
What a play there.
Could not finish. Felton high in the air to rip it down.
Nice fake with the head and shoulder.
McCants, their leading scorer, led the ACC last year at 20 points per game.
Nice double. Tried for the steal, though.
May lost it.
You know how we do these opens and you'll pick a player or two, and then the game starts, you say, you know what, maybe I should switch to the big guys being the problem. I think the big guys at Tennessee really have to do a major job, don't you, Jay?
Well, they certainly have to keep Sean May from getting easy opportunities inside. In the first possession, North Carolina ran their great stuff, that interior screen against the grain. They just didn't finish the play. Look at McCants posting up Crump.
Nice challenge here.
Andre Patterson, the block of the shot by McCants. Shot clock at 6. Felton had trouble with it. Lofton, the freshman, up on him. McCants has to shoot. And May, a terrific save. Felton from the free throw line, and North Carolina is first on the board.
Great effort, Trent. Phenomenal effort, Trent.
And again, we see the hands of Sean May just batting that ball back into play.
Tough shot.
And an air ball by McFadden. Jackie Manuel defending him. May. You guys talked last night about his great hands and his ability to run the court.
That's conditioning now. He's a different player this year. Good sprint.
His commitment to run the court is really impressive. That is so pretty to watch a big guy just dragging everybody down the floor.
Roy Williams said we didn't want Sean May to lose weight. We just wanted him to shift it around a little bit. He has, while retaining about a 265-pound frame. McCants had trouble on the dribble. The freshman Lofton took it away. Tough lob for Patterson. Taken back by May.
They look very alert early here, Sean. Carolina.
McCants missed a 3. Rebound Crump. Carolina stopped in Oakland to play Santa Clara and lost 77-66 on the way out here to Maui, but they annihilated BYU last night. Got off to a 25-3 lead against the Cougars.
A little too easy on that high screen. Raymond Felton got picked off. Hard to guard.
Patterson, the first basket of the night for Tennessee.
They do a nice job back screen, then the duck in.
Jawad Williams, the fadeaway. Manuel skied for a tip, but couldn't get it to go.
Got to get back in transition.
Crump stripped by Felton. McCants.
Oh my goodness, the lingerie on the deck early. Was that gorgeous?
What a talent. And that's what Roy Williams wants from him, to put the ball on the floor more. Obviously, that was in transition, but what a nice compliment to his shooting ability.
Crump moving downtown. He ran the floor beautifully, but Felton with a great play to strip him 2 trips ago.
3-second violation on Jawad Williams.
How about the hands here, Jake? And staying in bounds.
And a big guy brings it down, but look at this.
And a quick breather for McCants, coming off a 13-point game last night. They had 20 in their loss against Santa Clara. Last year he was just the 5th freshman or sophomore to lead the ACC in scoring in the last 25 years. They had the leading scorer, the leading rebounder in May, the leading assist man in Felton. First ACC team ever to do that in the same season.
They got a hook on Wingate.
Vern Harris, Michael Leeds, and Patrick Evans are the officials. That was the first foul they called more than 3 minutes into the game.
Nice denial
By Jameer Hendricks, who's also just into the ball game. McFadden, the transfer from Memphis in his second year at Tennessee, with the bank to get them within 2.
An aggressive move by Scooter McFadden, just dropping that shoulder down and forcing the contact and still having the body control to finish it.
And 2 defenders as well.
With a high pick, Tennessee going underneath it because they want Raymond Felton to start thinking about that shot. They're not afraid of it.
Jawad Williams quickly back in, and Jackie Manuel goes out.
And you mentioned this little aggressive play. Look at the 2 plus help and a little sweet kiss for Scooter.
And a nice job by Watson there to pass ahead.
David Noel in the game. He gave them some good minutes last night. 17 minutes with 7 points and 7 rebounds against BYU.
A little 2-3 zone. He does hustle, I think, Sean.
Pass batted away and controlled by Hendricks. Melvin Scott is off the bench, number 1 for Carolina. Marvin Williams in 24, and a blow by to the basket by C.J. Watson.
And then Roy is irate. No help whatsoever.
Well, the first rule in transition defense is stop the ball. And one of the rare occasions in this tournament where North Carolina did not stop the ball. That was sort of reverting back to what we saw last year. They were a different team against BYU. They started out very well here. First of all, don't get the ball along the baseline unless you've got a quicker move than that. That's a turnover waiting to happen.
And
but
they're
really jogging.
Yeah, this is really transition when you think of it. They're not sprinting and facing the ball.
Yeah, nobody turned around to stop the ball. That's got to be Felton or Scott that has to get there and stop the ball. That's got to be the first priority.
On the wing, no attention to detail.
The North Carolina opponents shot 44.4% from the floor last year. That's alarmingly high against a Roy Williams coach team. They're going to be a Final Four team, as some have predicted this year. It will have to be better this year.
And it will be.
They were 19-11 last year for Coach Williams in his first year back as head coach at his alma mater. Scott a miss. They were 8-8 in the ACC and finished 5th. Jawad Williams with his first bucket of the ball game, a senior from Cleveland, Ohio.
This team can score. The quality of their record will be determined by the quality of their team defense.
They scored last year 82 points per game, the most in a season for the Heels since 94-95. Still good for only 500 in the league. And Lofton, the freshman.
Boy, can he knock shots down. But, Jay, also individually, they've got to do a better job.
You have to guard the ball, but boy, the team defense, the most important thing in my judgment.
Another entertaining start. The winner gets Iowa for the Maui Championship tomorrow.
Sports NCAA March Madness 2005 in stores now, and by Staples. That was easy.
Another beautiful day here in Maui. And the winningest coach of all time back in attendance, Dean Smith. He was here last night. Of course, he was the head coach when Buzz Peterson played back in the early and mid 80s. Roy Williams, his assistant for 10 years. Buzz Peterson and Michael Jordan, great friends in each other's weddings. And talk about a coaching tree. These are just a few who have gone on from the tutelage of Dean Smith to run their own programs with great success.
Eddie Fogler comes to mind as well. Right?
Eddie Fogler was on that staff. I mean, the last 4.
And no pressure on the ball and nobody with vision. Got to take the legs away on that lob. There wasn't even a screen involved.
Easy 2 for McCants off the well-conceived play. Sean May denied the pass into Wingate and turned his head. He just threw it right past his ear.
They're one of the better teams, and good teams do this, scoring on out-of-bounds plays.
Wingate for Hendricks, along with McFadden, Watson, and Lofton for Tennessee.
Nice extra pass.
Lofton with a 3. He was Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky last year. From Maysville, Kentucky.
And we did not see him shoot it this well yesterday, but he is a terrific shooter.
Well, you give him an open look and let him get his feet set. That is layup. And Lofton's a heck of a football player as well. In high school as a wide receiver, got his jersey retired, but that's too much time. But great ball movement.
Extra pass was terrific. A little touch, bang. Get it to the shooter.
He averaged 27 points per game last year in high school, and as a receiver led the state in touchdown receptions with 20. McFadden just got called for his first foul. Jawad Williams in traffic, scores over Crump.
And Lofton down to help, just too small. Wow, why he did this yesterday.
Jordan Howell was not bashful. The redshirt freshman from Auburn, Alabama, just into the game. He jacked up a quick 3 and missed.
Nice play here to get it back.
Manuel charged into him.
North Carolina's taken it down on that baseline twice. First it was Noel, then Manuel. Both resulted in turnovers.
First foul called against North Carolina in this game.
I think it's a terrific move. Howell getting the feet set, getting the basketball back. But I think Roy has had to enjoy yesterday a little sigh of relief that they really responded to the coaching.
They come to attack Howell with the dribble. Lofton is feeling it. And Marvin Williams, the freshman from Bremerton, Washington. Felton guarded tightly by Watson. And Watson will be called for the foul.
God, there is some speed out on that floor. Felton, one of the premier guys running with the ball. I think he hurt his arm here, the way he's shaking his hand on the right side there.
I can't believe he was suspended. What a dumb rule.
It is.
Especially since that's a league that has been around a while and had been sanctioned in the past. He said, I didn't even think to check because guys have played in it year after year. Wow, did the officials...
He didn't go all the way across. That's a bad call. He did not go all the way across.
They're going to change everything.
They have to.
And the call was painfully late. It was almost as if the crowd influenced the official into calling
I'll tell
the
you what
open
happened.
back.
The one official had a backcourt violation here. He blew it real late.
That's what I guess. That's
Oh,
what I
is
said.
that what you, okay, I thought you meant the next one.
No,
That was just
he came
reviewing
over
your
to
point.
correct it.
Now he's changing his mind.
Yeah, he was overruled by the official who came in to help. It's not going to be a backcourt violation.
Okay.
You have to have the ball all the way over that line. And
Roy
your
Williams
body.
did not argue. Sean May goes out of the game. The Carolina tradition under Coach Smith, and continue with Coach Williams with frequent substitutions.
Not quite as liberal yet, but as they continue this good recruiting, it will become, Sean.
Whoops.
Tough.
15 and 14 last year in the NIT. Lost in the first round of George Mason. It's Peterson's 4th year, and they're hoping for their first NCAA invitation this year with Buzz as the head coach. Marvin Williams, preseason freshman of the year in the ACC, and a foul over the back on Jawad Williams, his first. Roy Williams won a Maui Invitational title with Kansas here. Wins after 16 years than anybody, the highest winning percentage among all active coaches. I think the one that jumps out at me, that you don't hear that often, the only coach in the nation who's won an NCAA tournament game in each of the last 15 years. Well, he's been in it, he's won a game.
Got a backcourt, that extra 2 men, the sideline, and
Wow, a technical's been called. Felton lobbed to Jawad Williams, and I wonder if they felt he hung on the rim.
You've got to be kidding me.
the technicality of the rule.
You have got to be kidding me. What a beautiful play. It's like their secondary break, a little wing back screen.
And the clear out on the baseline.
Please.
That's just being picky.
That's absurd.
That's why they call them snapbacks.
Did he hang on the rim? Yeah. Was that a technical? No way.
McFadden makes the free throw. He was 91% last year, 91.2, the Tennessee record, 5th in the nation. He has 4 points now.
Roy wanted to talk to the officials.
Well, he was up there with nobody underneath him, fellas, long enough to twist himself around.
No, you're right. I mean, technically it was a foul, or a technical foul. I just don't like the call. I think that's one you let go. But Roy Williams just asking the referee whether that was a personal foul, and the answer is no.
There's still one foul on Jawad Williams. McFadden.
Let's see if they get it right. Yes, I think so.
Two officials blew the whistle. They each looked at each other, and then one signaled it was a charge. And they're not going to score the basket. And I think Buzz thinks that's a little make-up for what just happened a moment ago.
I think the knee goes right into the chest here. That was a nice bang-banger. Great reaction defensively. And you just see he was there prior to liftoff.
Second foul on McFadden, who was their leading scorer last year at 17.5 per game, 4th in the Southeastern Conference.
There's that little back screen even against the zone. McCants setting up. Williams.
It's their secondary break.
Jawad Williams from the corner. 8 points for Jawad. Where's that number 21? Because his favorite player is Kevin Garnett.
That's what Bradshaw does, set people up.
And McFadden was fouled.
Manuel,
Shooting a 2.
a little overzealous on the closeout and attack.
Second foul on Manuel. McFadden will shoot the free throws when we come back to the Lahaina Civic Center. Carolina by 5 in the middle of the first half. Buzz Peterson coaching against his alma mater. And when we spoke with him a couple of days ago, he talked about the influence on him of Dean Smith.
Coach Smith develops a lot of coaches. His practice setting, a lot of teaching. I know this. His practices meant so much to him. I mean, he didn't want to be disrupted from his office or anything. This is a really emergency, but it was just like a classroom setting, and you learn so much. I know my junior year, I went to him, told him, Coach, I'm not going to play in the NBA, but I would love to have the opportunity to coach one day, so I would like to learn. And what amazed me more than anything else, we never looked at our opponent that much, who we were playing, but he knew in practice he would get us in the right situation to be successful against that opponent.
You know, we played them during the course of my career, fortunately not a whole lot. But we were in a Christmas tournament, and Dean was playing a team that was obviously going to slow everything down. Just hold it as long as they could pre-shot clock. And I said to the coach, you know, what are you going to do against, I think it was Dartmouth College. And he said, well, we just practice ourselves, and we're ready for any situations. Meaning we'll trap them. You know, we do all the same stuff anyhow. So they were prepared, and he did worry about himself.
Boy, he really broke the game down to its very essence. I mean, still one of the best basketball books I've ever read is his book, Multiple Offense and Defense. And always remember that the perfect possession for them would be to get fouled every time down, because you score more points per possession when you shoot free throws than anything.
McCants, the shot clock at 9, a deep 3. He has 7. He is a terrific offensive player, the junior from Buzz Peterson's hometown of Asheville, North Carolina, also the hometown of Roy Williams. Rashad spent a couple of years in New Hampshire at New Hampton Prep. He was twice the New Hampshire State.
Double dribble by Lenny Bias.
Back in the mid-'80s.
Oh.
But of course, Hank never missed anything.
No, Hank was right on top of the call.
One of the great officials of all time.
And here supervising these officials, a travel.
And I think it has rattled Tennessee a little bit, gets them out of rhythm.
Felton showing his great ball handling ability. Scott for 3.
And that dribble.
North Carolina losing to Santa Clara was not good for us, because they were going to be loaded and ready to go against the Cougars last night, and they were. North Carolina's at 7 of its last 8 from the floor, and a chance to add to that as McCants brings the ball over the half court.
Tough shot the other end. Williams counter.
Gets the bounce for 3. Jawad Williams.
And a good look from McCants.
Lofton, the quick response. A 3 ball out of the corner for the freshman.
And McCants was right in his face.
Lofton reacted quickly to McCants, and Bradshaw fouled.
Old-time Carolina teams snapping it around. Lofton unerring, little cut and swab, and then the quick run down the floor.
An unerring,
Did I say something wrong?
Cotton swab.
It's been a long day.
So many little on big screens, hard to guard, and you get the post up. That is really...
May missed both free throws after the foul by Crump, his first, the 6th on the team, out of bounds.
Make them play defense. They go the other way with Williams trying to step through.
He ran over Jameer Hendricks.
Heads up play. But make them work on defense a little bit. Don't take the quick jack of the first one.
2 fouls on Jawad Williams.
That's one of the things that North Carolina's pressure traditionally gets you to do, and that's to speed up. But one of the things you have to do is when those traps come, you have to get people coming to the ball, turn, and attack the basket right away.
And that's why people shoot up. They have percentage generally
But look,
against them.
Lofton's got to turn his back. I mean, everybody has to turn their back.
Crowd thought that was a double dribble by Crump, and he gets called for.
Brandon Crump making a spin dribble. That's good defense.
Exactly.
I mean, he's going to turn it over more often than not.
I thought when he got to the middle, he should have kicked it. They do get you spinning with their aggressive play.
Scott was Felton, Noel, May, and Jawad Williams for North Carolina.
Good cut.
Nice pass by May, and Hendricks thought it was a clean block. He's called for his first foul.
Fun to watch when teams share the ball.
Clara and BYU. 29-18. North Carolina by 11. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Sean McDonough, Jay Billis, Bill Raftery. That sold out Lahaina Civic Center for the EA Sports Maui Invitational. Semifinal number 2. Iowa beat Texas earlier. The Hawkeyes will play the winner of this.
Staying after it. Crump in the right spot. I'm not crazy about that shot either, Jay.
It's probably tipped in by May there.
Looked like it was. They did credit the basket to Brandon Crump.
You got to give a little credit to Melvin Scott on that last possession. Good pass.
And a tough shot.
The ball, dive into the rim. You got your bailout guy. You got him in position to do some damage. And heads are spinning defensively.
You know, one
Goes out after those 2 quick fouls. Major Wingate has come back in. The shirt that he had on last night.
Yeah, and said that it was unfair of both of you to attack him for that.
I think either he or Joe Holiday gave the shirt they had on yesterday to CB McGrath. So now CB has that stripe number. You're set.
I'm going to give your home number, Jay, in case people want to.
the Von Trapp family.
To get in touch with you and get your leftovers.
How many players, coaches, officials have walked by us here today and said, "Nice shirts," in a very sarcastic way?
I don't think they mean it.
I had one person ask me where their seats were.
I know you held out your hand for a tip when you told them. Williams.
Well, they don't care about their shirts. The Carolina coaches, the way they're playing, I'm sure they're in a very happy mood.
McCants. 9 for Rashad.
That's the one area where he can continue to improve offensively. If he keeps putting it on the floor and attacking the basket, we're talking about a perfect offensive player.
Nice move by Dane Bradshaw, dribbling through a lot of traffic, and he made a tough shot for his first points of the night.
He keeps his dribble alive. He normally creates for others. That time the kiss at the end.
Marvin Williams from Bremerton, Washington, in the Seattle area, with the left hand over Wingate, well short. Marvin averaged 29 points and 16 rebounds in high school last year. Off the foot of Scott, retrieved back by McFadden. He wanted a timeout but didn't get it before Quentin Thomas tied him up. Just a beautiful late afternoon, early evening here in Lahaina, Maui, where our coverage of the EA Sports Maui Invitational concludes tomorrow. Great day of action on ESPN in Tennessee. And then we all roll back.
Somebody said Sean McDonough couldn't throw it in the ocean, but he did just.
You can't see it from the taverns?
Only on the second floor.
Ooh. A lot of tough passes.
Nice play.
C.J. Watson and a high arcing shot when it looked like he really didn't have to do that. The defender had already drifted by. McCants to Felton.
Most shots have been contested.
I think the message about a greater commitment to defense is sinking in with these Tar Heels. The offense is not a problem.
That we have seen the last couple games.
McCants makes a couple. Roy Williams said he's never seen a player be more analyzed by the media or fans than Rashad McCants. Interesting the tattoos that he has too. I think it's sending a message back to those who do analyze him. On one arm it says "Born to be hated," and on his other arm he has a tattoo that says "Dying to be loved."
That's a couple of things for your arm. Straight him, hit him in, and nickel dime inside.
Asumnu.
Stanley Asumnu, the junior from Houston, played at Hargrave Military Academy. Excellent athlete, 42-inch vertical leap at 6'5". His first foul, the 10th on the team, so it's a double bonus.
To run anything down on their end, they've taken a lot of challenge shots. They've been speeded up by this North Carolina pressure, North Carolina defense.
And you don't put pressure on Carolina because your inside game is not quite up to snuff.
2 misses by McCants. Asumnu.
Even the duck-in isn't working. It's got to be stronger begging. Wingate has it now, but on the other side.
Boy, what about the job Melvin Scott's done defensively? Denying, not letting McFadden touch the ball.
Williams gets another. Mayo come in for him. You know, we were talking about vertical leap. What was yours?
I don't know, 45, 46.
I knew you could elevate.
Now, mine was measured in sheets of paper. When I jumped off a chair.
You had a hard time jumping over the Saturday edition of the Daily News. But you were good, I must admit.
As painful as that was for you, I'm sure, Bill. Yeah. 5-second call on the inbounding play just after Jawad Williams went to the bench with his third foul.
And Buzz wondering how that clock ticked so quickly with a nice smile.
He's a very likable guy. You know, the folks in Tennessee are cheering for him to do well. He's personally very well liked, but as we said, now the clock running without being in the NCAA tournament. This is year 4. That's the first basket of the ball game for Marvin Williams and the largest lead for North Carolina.
Nice step and cut by McFadden and discard.
And look how far out McFadden has to go to catch it.
Well, that's what he wanted. He wanted to line up a 25-footer.
I've really been impressed with the job Melvin Scott's done on him. He's really done a nice job defensively. 9
points now for McFadden. His first team preseason All-SEC. Second team All-Conference at the end of last year. Felton for 3.
They do a great job on that play. Back screen, duck in, double, kick diagonally. I mean, that was just textbook.
And 7 points now for the junior from Atlanta, South Carolina, Raymond Felton. Carolina 50% from beyond the arc. Watson. Rebound, Marvin Williams.
Good hands.
By Patterson. Almost turned back over. Boy, it looked like Crump walked and then almost a backcourt violation.
I think it was. They just lost the line, Sean. Although if he straddled, it was okay.
May, the quick outlet to McCants. He was fouled against Stanford. He wears number 10 for Tennessee. He's been a very pleasant surprise. He walked on. Then they had a player leave the program that opened up a scholarship. And Juwan Smith was so good in their workouts, they gave him that scholarship. The freshman from Decatur, Tennessee.
Lock up. That's the feet of Rashad McCants. He's written on it, lock up, which signals some of his commitment to defense and what he wants to do.
Oh,
Sadden, fancy move, couldn't finish. He stayed after with Noel, who got it to May. The Tar Heels trying to add to their largest lead here. 15 points with 4:10 to go.
Nice hustle play by Noel, and then the entry pass.
And then Juwan Smith couldn't control it. It looked like he touched it last. The Tar Heel fans livid, and I think Roy Williams has reason to gripe. That looked from our vantage point like Smith of Tennessee was the last to touch.
Oh no, I think May got his hand in it. That was a bang-banger.
I think it was his hand?
I think his fingertip got a piece.
Tough to tell on the replay. It certainly looked closer on the replay than it did live. The official in great position. Mike Eads. Crump, the jump wouldn't go. And May has his 5th rebound. He led the ACC in rebounding last year with just under 10 a game.
You know what May does well, guys? He never puts the ball on the floor. He looks for people, whether it's a rebound or a loose ball.
Manual offensive foul. And that's 3 on the senior from West Palm Beach, Florida. 3:27 to go in the half. The Tar Heels with a comfortable working margin.
Reese.
All right, Reese, thank you. We'll look forward to that. Here in Maui as the sun sets over Lanai. A 15-point lead for North Carolina. Tennessee ball.
Got a count on.
McFadden.
Great closeout.
C.J. Watson missed from the corner and a foul on the rebounding action against Brandon Crump, his second. Maybe it's the halftime show jinx. You know, they're going to talk to May, the state-of-the-art feature there that they previewed. USA team that won the gold medal at the World Championships for young men 20 and under in Halifax.
Rick, with us being here, and there are probably dining at Wendy's.
I'm sure the scenic shots of Bristol are quite similar to what we've been seeing.
Very much
Maui,
so.
the great outdoors here the last couple of days.
Well, both of them have had their teams here, and they've been able to linger a day or two later, and that's not lingering, that's stroking it. And he has been as good as we've seen or has been advertised.
Scary part is this could be worse if they've been hitting their free throws.
Andre Patterson, the former UCLA Bruin. And he steals it at the other end. So Tennessee trying to scratch back into this late in the half. Juan Smith had it blocked, but it came loose, so no held ball there.
May outrunning too high.
Yep, Thomas with a good idea because May can catch it and run.
Bob Lanier territory, 22, I believe.
Lofton with Noel right in his face. Lofton's been the star of the half. He has 11 for Tennessee.
Got to make him put it on the deck. That'll be the scouting report.
Would you agree, watching Tennessee now for a game and a half, they have nice perimeter pieces, but inside is going to be a concern for them?
I would agree. How about that?
17 and a half for Rashad McCants.
Paratrooper.
If he keeps playing like this and continues to say and do the right things.
Well, you can relate.
Beautiful. May got it deflected away from him
For a near layup.
Roll to the block.
and a nice move by David.
We'll get halftime to hearing Steve and Rick especially talk about Michigan State, because I think Michigan State has a chance to be outstanding this year.
They've got a lot of experience.
Bradshaw lost it. McCann.
Pow! A mistake paid for. Hurt his finger a little bit on the rim.
That was with his left hand.
And dribbled with it, too.
Largest lead for North Carolina. McFadden.
Rating at one of the officials.
My guess, he felt Felton may have been fouled going to the basket. That was the only thing. It couldn't have been something that was lingering.
Well, there are those red lights that were
Yeah.
clearly on while the ball was in his hand. But as Jay said,
It's the clock up in the.
But the problem is the clock only goes to it doesn't go to tenths or hundredths of a second. It just goes to seconds.
But,
So you could have 9/10 of a second there. Our clock goes.
Well, there's zero.
there's
But
zero.
from
I,
there,
know,
it
but
looked
they
like it's
can't-
out of his hand.
I think they got to wipe it off.
Well, it's a tough call, and that's why they're still looking at it as we.
All right, Sean, keep treating alums like that, and Buzz Peterson's not going to pay his alumni dues anymore. Glad to have you with us on the UPS Halftime Report. It appears Carolina's on its way to the champion.
On Tennessee's Maui Invitational title, hopes down by 20 at the break to North Carolina that put on a very impressive show in the first half. Matter of fact, fellas, they finished the half with 14 out of 17 from the floor.
That's 82% over the last 17 shots. They
cheated.
shot 65% in that first half. I did cheat, but that's okay. Like you did the math yourself. But they forced 14 turnovers and held Tennessee to 38%.
Now, I'm usually asked, what should Tennessee do to get back in this?
Recruit.
Well, I think the shot selections, forget the turnovers, they're important too, but getting good shots, running their offense, and rebounding is part of that.
Well, you're asked that because you are the authority on trying to bring your team from way back. 65.4% of the half for North Carolina shooting. That's better than any half they had all of last year. We're underway in the second half with Felt.
The post area.
Yeah, he just looked like he wrapped his arm just around a little bit and dislodged.
That left arm's around right in front of the official, though.
It was the arm. That was it.
First foul on McCants. It was 7 for 10 from the floor in the first half. Only problem he had was from the line. 3 for 6 from the free throw line. Crump to Lofton with Patterson, McFadden, and Watson. The same.
Pinned down.
North Carolina started this game with such tremendous intensity.
In the second half. Felton underneath. Has it back from May. Felton had 7 assists in the half.
The It's funny, May, I thought should have reset deeper.
2 out of 5 from the free throw line.
For Tennessee, they've got to block the trap. That's too easy.
Earlier, you've got to be in concert.
Jawad Williams shut off by Patterson. Good defense by Patterson and knock it away from Williams again. The shot clock down to 13. McCants drives right by McFadden and then got hit hard by Crump. North Carolina Wilmington reportedly refusing to cheer for his teammates. Matt Doherty benched him when he was a freshman for bad defense and shot selection. Kelvin Sampson cut him from that under-20 team this summer, in part because he exuded an air of superiority. There were published reports that the teammates on that team were glad he was cut.
It's only going to serve him well in the future.
And the future is bright on the basketball court for McCants. Tennessee has not scored yet here in the second half. And May.
The key is he's going to have to learn how to use the bounce and also use screens.
Well, you want to see Tennessee continue to fight because this is a team that did not perform very well on the road last year. 1-11 away from home last season. Didn't win a single SEC game on the road.
Their only road win was against the University of Massachusetts. Patterson with the putback for the first points of the half. Good denial at the rim by Crump as he went up with Jawad Williams. Watson stripped on the floor and then a foul called on Manuel.
Boy, it looked like Williams got fouled on that lob play.
This will be his second. McFadden turns and faces and misses, and it comes down to McCants.
The pressure of the bounce.
May missed the dunk. McCants from deep downtown. And it's controlled by Lofton. Watson, who's had a quiet game, gives it back to Lofton.
Nice attention defensive. Good Lord, huh?
May into Jawad Williams.
Doing it all.
Little pressure on the ball would be nice.
Ash took on Carolina's Rashad McCants. The video game featured teams from the actual tournament of MAUI Invitational mode. Pee-wee used his quickness to defeat McCants. Happy Volunteers looked on for the victory. Gash claimed bragging rights as the video game champ. And we were told before that started the other night he was the favorite. Apparently he's legendary within the Tennessee program for his video game prowess.
Was there a morning line on that video game?
Not as far as we know. They've been winning everything. They had a free throw shooting contest among the coaches for charity, and Buzz Peterson won. He made all 10 free throws to beat the other coaches.
And there'll be some more of those jumpers to win by Watson there from deep. Nice inside, and then that should have been a quicker pass.
They had all day to look. Yeah. Nobody's putting any pressure on the ball.
McFadden running the court, and a block and count the basket for Scooter McFadden.
And a good call as well. He was sliding by, never established.
And McFadden is a talented player. Started out at Memphis, and he can run and finish.
Sean McDonough with Jay Billis and Bill Raftery back at the EA Sports Maui Invitational semifinal number 2. Iowa winner here earlier today over Texas. They'll meet the winner of this one. Likely to be North Carolina, barring a major rally by Tennessee. That made a little bit of a dent in a 20-plus point deficit. The free throw by McFadden has them within 17. Noel had it knocked out of bounds.
Very difficult to stop.
4 fouls on Crump, so he goes to the bench.
I think the great thing on the defensive end, though, to counter that, is that they force you to rely on your skills. They disrupt you from anything you want to diagram or get your kids to run.
smaller Tennessee team on the court now without Crump out there. McFadden had a shot altered by May. Patterson couldn't get one to go with May contesting.
And so that was a late help by May. And they got a problem now, clockwise?
Might be a question about the shot clock.
They reset it and may not have hit the rim. But did you notice May came over to get that block? It was just
Drive. That meant he saw the ball and was moving as the ball moved. Very impressive defensively.
They did not change the shot clock. They inbounded it with 32 again.
a little body rub.
On North Carolina. Next one will be the 1-and-1 for Tennessee. Wingate needs to get rid of it. 5-second count.
And everybody denied beautifully. You know what?
Technical on Buzz Peterson.
And boy, he's really irate.
A little frustration showing through. He slapped the scorer's table after that call. He did not like it, and you can see the intensity in his face.
You know, it's interesting, Noel. Scott was denying, was holding the man. I mean, just like the post position. You call it inside, you call it outside. Tough to get free.
That'll get you a technical.
It'll get you hurt, too.
I thought it was a good call. Looked like a 5-second count.
Well, anytime I see Buzz Peterson get mad, he is such a good guy and a really good coach. But I know it's frustrating for him, especially playing against his alma mater, to have his team not show up and play their best.
And they are clearly capable of playing better.
I think it's difficult, as you noted earlier, Sean. Without an inside game, puts a lot of pressure on the perimeter people.
C.J. Watson. And Wingate couldn't corral the rebound. That's a rebound Wingate has to get.
And Tennessee, it doesn't get easier for them as this season goes on when they go into the very difficult Southeastern Conference. And, you know, one of the teams in the SEC, Alabama, I think with Ronald Steele coming in at the point guard position, going to be very difficult to beat. And they're playing on our air tomorrow night against Alaska Anchorage.
.14-15 to go. North Carolina by 21.
They've been switching those inside exchanges. May ends up this time on Wingate.
Lofton.
That's just a great shot. I mean, Quentin Thomas did a pretty good job of moving his feet. He had a hand up, stayed disciplined and down, and really good credit to Lofton for making a tough shot.
First bucket of the second half. He is 14. Scott answers with a three out of the corner. He has 6 on a couple of three-pointers. 142 career threes, and it's Lofton again.
When May got the ball, you can't leave Scott. Why would you turn around to help? If you're gonna, the help's got to come someplace else.
And you got to make him put it on the floor. If he gets a standstill jumper, he's going to score.
Look at that rebound.
Marvin Williams, great stick-to-itiveness, and he'll be rewarded with a trip to the free throw line with a
Coaster.
All 5 starters back this year for North Carolina. Players who did not return scored a total of 36 points for them last year. And it's the last hurrah for the seniors. Jawad Williams, man, historically bad at North Carolina. NIT, as sophomores, a coaching change. Then the improvement last year, up to 19 wins in the NCAA tournament. They're hoping, as Jawad Williams says, for the storybook ending after a very up-and-down ride to this point. Lofton.
This is some shooter. Isn't he open shooter? Well, when you see a tradition slip a little or get tarnished and you're part of it, it behooves you to get it organized, and they are right now. I think this is going to be a heck of a year for Carolina. .12.5 to go. They're up 17. Scott, the 2 players running out, but it was too late. Why are you leaving them? Why are you helping in that case? It's the opposite box.
Well, right now, Tennessee's just a little bit scattered. They're trying to make a comeback. And
9 points on 3 threes for Scott, and then the flush by Patterson.
How about that aggressive maneuver?
The live legs.
Marvin Williams strong along the end line, and he got fouled by Patterson.
Wow, was that quick and strong.
He was trying to answer the great baseline move by Andre Patterson on the other end.
Few of the many greats who have been involved in a program that really is unsurpassed in the history of college basketball.
How about the guys you left off that list?
Well, UCLA could say they've surpassed
Sure.
a lot more national championships. But
Duke could say it now with some of the great players. But what's interesting, he's most proud of what the unbelievable credentials they've had.
how is Billy doing? I know he's a good friend of yours.
Billy's fine. Billy's fine.
One of the all-time good guys, in addition to being a great player.
A lot of coupons.
Demir Hendricks trying to make a move to the bucket, and he gets the jump hook to drop. 69-52 after the first basket of the ball game for Hendricks, who transferred from Clemson. Originally signed with Notre Dame out of high school, but never enrolled in classes in South Bend. He was actually a walk-on when he transferred from Clemson. He paid his way the first year. They didn't have a scholarship for him.
2-3 zone by Tennessee, trying to extend out.
Jawad Williams.
Boy, he's done some nice work, I think.
What a mature game he has. I think he's best at the 4 slot, where he can go and post up. He can take a bigger guy out on the perimeter, but that was just a really strong move under control. The nice shot fake to get the defense off balance.
They have been playing a little center when May goes out frequently.
Look at Scott.
One of the 5 count to the Tar Heel Partisans. Nice pass. Wingate down to C.J. Watson for the bucket.
And no panic. That's what you have to do.
Really been impressed with Melvin Scott and the focused defense he has played.
You talk about the development of Jawad Williams. He worked very hard in this offseason over the summer. Spent a lot of time in the swimming pool. Swimming in addition to the weight work and other cardiovascular work, and it really seems to be paying off here at the start of the year for Jawad Williams. He said, "This is my last chance. All I care about is winning."
And how about that? Lofton putting it on the deck beautifully.
He has shown the three-point shooting ability. Nice drive there by Lofton, who's made 6 threes in the game. That's a 2-point goal for 22 points for him. Scott a miss, and Wingate the rebound.
Now Lofton, unfortunately, has to match up against McCants.
Howell. That's a 3 for the redshirt freshman from Auburn, Alabama. He was going to Georgia, but when the Jim Herrick mess hit, he was released, wound up at Tennessee, did not have to sit out a year.
Tennessee, I'm not so sure that call was the right one.
See Lofton on that drive. The nice fake to the right opened up the left when McCants jumped. What an impressive performance by the freshman Chris Lofton.
Nice bounce back, too. Didn't get those open opportunities yesterday, but made the most of it today. Part of being in Maui, just growing as a talent.
Heck of a shooter in his day, Buzz Peterson.
Well, you mentioned what a nice guy. What a track record, too, at Tulsa.
In Appalachian State.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 year at Tulsa before getting the Tennessee job. After 4 at Appalachian State. He was 79-39 at Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina, and then 26-11 at Tulsa. Came to Tennessee. His dad is a graduate of the University of Tennessee. Dad Robert. That's actually Buzz's given name, but he was nicknamed Buzz as a very young boy, and it stuck. May called for the foul.
That's one of those, you put your arms in and body in. You know, players watch the NBA.
The rule that you can't dislodge, so you can't bump the guy with the ball, but he can back you down. And it's a hard, that's where I think the advantage disadvantage rule has got to come in. You got to let the referees use their judgment.
Trump missed the free throw. He knew it was off as soon as he released it.
But I think they make rules for officials for the whole group. And the better ones are able to use better judgment because they're more experienced.
On rebound.
Got to take the shooter and get his legs. The free throw shooter, that is.
Nice move.
That was powerful, and Crump with 4 fouls had to back off.
That's the wide shoulders.
Well, this Carolina team has a lot of options off the bench. I'll tell you, how much better would they be if they had J.R. Smith available?
Goes down in New Orleans, or they're on the road right now. They beat Utah last night for the first win for Byron Scott.
He would have been an incoming recruit here in North Carolina.
And it was unexpected. He just blew up over the summer.
Had some great games, right, Jay? All-Star games.
Great McDonald's game. It's amazing now these All-Star games can blow you up into a first-round draft pick. That never used to be the case.
Or blow you up.
Traveling the call.
Be interesting to see how Arizona bounces back from their loss at Virginia. Pete Gillen and his freshman point guard Sean Singletary really slapped around the Wildcats.
What do you have, 8 assists, I think?
Oh, he was terrific.
Oh, great defense by Watson, skying to block that pass from Manuel, and then a backcourt violation called against Tennessee. And immediate timeout. 7:58 to go. Buzz Peterson and the Vols trailing his alma mater by 16. Bill Raftery's transportation back to the hotel has arrived. And they're ready for your feast as well. We're at the Lahaina Civic Center, semifinal action of the EA Sports Maui Invitational. The 21st edition with a great field. Iowa will play the winner of this one. Right now it looks like North Carolina up by 16.
And the symmetry of those leaders, McCants, the leading scorer in the league last year, May the leading rebounder, and Felton the leading assist man, all playing their roles in this game.
And I think Tennessee should be admired, too. They try to hang tough. There's a little 2-3 zone, picked apart. They run so many good things, Carolina, against the zone. The elbow feed. But don't you agree? I think Tennessee has really tried to do a good job. Get back in this game.
I think
they have.
I think they're going to be a much better team this year. A lot is going to depend on the leadership of C.J. Watson at the point, but you've got a potent scorer as a freshman in Chris Lofton that can knock down shots. But they need, and Scooter McFadden, who was the 4th leading scorer in the conference last year and can really score. They're just going to need to get better production and more consistent production out of their inside guys.
Yeah, Crump about 15 points a game. If he could ever get it up higher than that, you're giving.
I think he can. The question is there anybody else?
Yeah.
I think they were hoping that Patterson
or Wingate
will give them more. Not sure. Do you think Wingate's going to be able to do it based on what we've seen?
Well, I don't think he's an offensive player.
No.
And Patterson really, he runs and blocks shots. He's not a great offensive player.
He's a utility player, a guy that can really get offensive rebounds, stick backs. He can guard multiple positions, but he's not somebody that you can throw it to on the block and get a score. Wingate's got to be the guy that gets better and improves from last year.
There's that mismatch.
Byron Sanders into the game now, number 41. Chance for Roy Williams to go a little deeper into his bench. Felton turned it over. Watson. McFadden a strong follow, blocked by Jawad Williams, but he's going to be called for a foul. When we're finished, Sports Center comes your way next with Stuart Scott and Carl Ravage. And among the stories they're covering, highlights from around college basketball today. The Pacers and Pistons looking for wins after their brawl, from which there is newer people who get some sort of perverse pleasure out of that kind of thing, like the people who like the car wrecks and NASCAR. You couldn't, there is nothing, even someone who's sick could have taken out of watching that brawl.
Nothing redeeming whatsoever. No. Embarrassment to everybody. Oh, what a tough play.
And a chance for 3 for Manuel, and a foul out per game last year. As you mentioned, he's an outstanding defender. Out there now with McCants, Jawad Williams, Thomas, and May. McFadden brushed by Manuel after McFadden had gotten almost by him. Jackie didn't like the call.
He just didn't regain position, though. He body rubbed, and obviously he didn't call that.
He is fouled out.
He could never get the angle, Jay, in fairness to him. He should have really just drifted to the lane, waited for the double, because they do help one another.
Manuel departs, the senior from West Palm Beach. At Cardinal Newman High School, where he played on 2 state championship teams. He leaves with 6:40 to go. Roy Williams still questioning the call.
He just wants to know. He says, tell me what he did.
Here's McFadden.
If I tell you, you promise not to tell.
15 for Scooter.
Look how wide that lane is with these experimental rules. Awful lot of space to have to block out in.
I was going to say, a lot of pressure on a big guy, both on cuts, missed shots.
I'm not crazy about it. I like the three-point line being moved back a little bit, but don't like the lane being widened.
I like this more than the trapezoidal.
Yeah, the trapezoid I didn't like at all. But
sounds like something I had for dinner.
Not unless it comes in a bottle. Watson lost it out of bounds. This lane is about 1.5 feet wider, for those who are curious, than the lane that they will be using the rest of the season beyond these preseason tournaments.
It's been a venture for the rules committee for years. You probably remember when George Mikan played, that changed the rule. Then Wilt had the extended lane. I mean, it's amazing with big guys. The size of the people playing has just made it very hard, I think. That's why there's so much banging that goes on.
Hendricks, the miss, made the rebound. One thing we've seen, this line, the deeper three-point line by 9 inches, doesn't seem to make much of a difference. At least a lot of these teams have shot the three very well.
Seems to still be within the range, Sean. I think the NBA line would be too far.
But maybe a little closer to the NBA line than even this experimental line. Make it more of a test.
Now there is effort, excuse me.
McFadden was out. Came back in, and the ball will go over to North Carolina.
Well, that will endear McCants to his teammates. Here he comes out of nowhere. This is an open shot. That's just a phenomenal effort, Jake.
he has shown nothing but effort in this game. Look how far he comes over, covers an awful lot of ground. And what do you call that? The discard.
Get it out of the area. Maui.
Clock set.
Tennessee just close enough that Roy Williams has to keep his starters in here. Of course, tomorrow will be the 3rd game in 3 days. You know, Iowa's going to be tired too. They were taxed in both games. A push off with the free arm by Watson for an offensive foul, his 3rd. Jordan Howell returns for Tennessee.
Tell you, the championship game shaping up like Iowa versus North Carolina, and North Carolina, as good as their defense has been, will get tested even more because Iowa runs a lot of different entries into motion. They get a lot of down screen, back screen, fade screen action. It is hard to guard, and they've got 3 terrific players that are very difficult to cover in Jeff Horner, Greg Bruner, and Pierre Pierce. That's going to be one heck of a basketball game.
Well, I think it boils down to not turning it over if you're Iowa. I mean, it's real simple. Get in your offense, use your power game, use your back screens, get Bruner involved down underneath. And Hansen becomes very important. Who he guards, how he impacts the game. But their game is all about the defense, and it stirs it up.
I've been really impressed with Iowa and the job Steve Alford's done. That's a really good team.
They came in, it looked like, on a mission. Just that we got to be better. We're going to be better. Let's do things the correct way in practice and carry it over to the game.
Well, the expectations were so high, you know, when they kind of nudged Tom Davis out of Iowa, who had considerable success there. You know, the rap on him was, well, he can't get the big-time player, the big-time recruit. He gets a lot of these nice players from within the state as the Iowa staff scouts. But Steve Alford, you know, with his name and place in the game and profile, he'll get bigger recruits, and that really hasn't happened. He's continued to get most of the very good players out of Iowa. There's another 3 for Rashad McCants.
They have not been as successful in Chicago, Sean. That's one area that Tom was successful in during his career. But I think because Steve had accomplished so much, we get the charge by Hendricks. A lot was expected. He came with a high profile, no question about it.
Nice play there by Marvin Williams, putting his body on the line. And boy, how easy does Rashad McCants make this game look?
Very easy to answer. Excuse me.
See the championship game tomorrow?
At 9:30, Iowa will get the winner of this one. 4 fouls now on Jameer Hendricks.
Get a little early Big Ten ACC challenge.
Yeah. We will be attending a few.
Maybe we can add that on to the point total at the end.
Well, there's some great matchups in that next week on the ESPN family of networks. McCants again. He has 27. Lofton, the miss, and May the rebound. Under 4 minutes to go now. And North Carolina has the lead back up to 18.
Very efficient, Sean.
Here comes the high screen. Refused. And not a good look.
There'll be a media timeout on the next whistle. I would think Coach Williams might use that opportunity to get these starters out of the game, get them a couple minutes rest at the championship game tomorrow.
Felton really upset. Roy on the, not bad. That's his first assist of the year.
Come on, Roy. Two-handed pass.
That's right. Establish your pivot foot.
Roy still has good range, though, at age 54. Went a long way to his right to haul that one in.
At 7:42 a.m., critical samples arrived at this pharmaceutical lab.
Sean McDonough, Jay Billis, Bill Raftery, our producer Jay Cudlow, director Ken Dennis, and our ESPN crew. Delighted to have you with us from Maui. North Carolina 3:28 away from a day with Iowa in tomorrow's EA Sports Maui Invitational Championship game. C.J. Watson, the free throw shooter, and the junior from Las Vegas makes the first.
Iowa probably back at the hotel now watching this game to see who will be playing them. And one guy who better have an ankle elevated is Pierre Pierce.
Yeah, he turned his ankle on the very last play of the win over Texas earlier this evening. We have checked with them, and his status is still up in the air for tomorrow.
And it's interesting. Are they watching the game? Remember, Buzz told us down the ACC tournament.
Wasn't that funny?
Yeah, Dean would not let them have the TVs on. No
TV
ahead.
in the room at all.
Well, no looking ahead. I could understand with you that you'd have no TV in the room.
He didn't want them watching any action from the ACC tournament.
Well, never look ahead, basically, is what he was all about.
Buzz said that was before cell phones, so what were we supposed to do? Well, how about study?
Come on, it's March.
Sean can't remember back when he was 18.
Jordan Howell with a long three.
It's harder for me.
You can't remember yesterday.
And what a great day I heard it was.
McCants.
Interesting matchup dilemmas with him for a lot of teams.
We're in a terrific post up there because he stopped. Instead of just running to the low block, he stopped as soon as he was open and got his defender on his hip.
McCants 10 out of 16 from the floor, including 3 of 4, three-point field goals. 4 out of 8 from the line. He's 3 for 7 from 3.
They make you catch it running away from the basket, and you catch it at a great distance away. You can't break down people easily. You can't get the entry pass.
North Carolina doing a good job running clock.
Scott.
And the blue team is about to come in. Looks like Roy is going to let the mainstays take a rest.
You notice there with Melvin Scott, when he shoots it on the move, not quite as effective. That's why you got to make him put it down or make him shoot on the move.
Air ball from Jawan Smith. And McCants gets it ahead to Noel with Scott.
What a pass by Noel.
And what an outlet by McCants.
Sure was. The save, too. Coordinated effort. From beginning to end. This is a tough pass to catch, Jay. Good hands. And then the left hand. Otherwise, it would have been blocked.
An excellent presence of mind and awareness by Melvin Scott, who's really had a solid game on both ends of the floor. Did you notice when he looked behind him to see where the defense was and still finished the play?
I think they've all been impressive. From the point through the baseline.
And Roy Williams has emptied the bench. Wes Miller, number 22. C.J. Hooker, 35. Number 3, Rashawn Terry. Ball into the ball game. Damian Grant, number 25. And now Clinton Thomas comes back in after the free throw. Sports Center coming up next with Stuart Scott and Carl Ravitch.
Now, Wes Miller putting a little pressure on the ball right now. He's a nice little player.
He is. He is a solid point guard.
Good
Transfer
shooter.
from James Madison, sat out last year. Asumnu gets the roll.
And that's where Quentin Thomas will learn as he goes along to control the ball handler a little bit better. Just went for that head and shoulder fake, and Thomas more of a penetrator, good handler. He's going to be a good player as well.
Final minute. The basket by Asumnu was his first. 92 points and counting for North Carolina. Grant, who hails from Jamaica, had it blocked. Blocked by Patterson. And Wingate couldn't corral it. McFadden comes out. Patterson will go out. Buzz Peterson getting his starters out. They'll have to play tomorrow in the third place game against Texas. We'll have that game for you at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Our coverage starts on ESPN 2 at 2 Eastern tomorrow with Louisville, then Stanford in the 5th place game. Dane Bradshaw called for the foul, his second. But Charlie Everett moves into the game. He got into the very end of last night's game as well.
And Sean, I think he's from the JV team, one of the few programs in the country. There aren't that many. And it's a great coaching tool. Jared Hass did it for a while. C.B. McGrath did it for a while.
Roy Williams did it for a while.
Roy, that's how he started.
C.J. Hooker got promoted after 2 years on the JV team. Jawan Smith. He's a cousin of former Volunteers Vincent Yarbrough and Del Baker.
Two offensive players.
Soon their scores again. He hasn't played as much out here as he did last year when he averaged 17 points per game.
Boy, nice play. Good head and shoulder fake.
C.J. Hooker, who hails from Alaska. Senior from Palmer, Alaska. First Alaskan ever to play basketball at North Carolina. And they're going to count that three-pointer for Asumnu and longtime friends Roy Williams and Buzz Peterson. Final score, North Carolina 94 and Tennessee 81. The Heels will play Iowa in the championship game here tomorrow night. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Now for Bill Raftery and Jay Billis, I'm Sean McDonough saying good night from Maui.